Good morning and welcome to Coffee Talk with Sked and B-Boss Online. Today we're going to switch things up a little bit. We've got a guest speaker, Amanda Smith from Sk8ter's Paradise with us. And we're going to have a conversation about what COVID has done to her business, how it's affected them, and what steps she's taking to reopen and what things are going to look like going forward. We want this to be an open discussion, so if anybody has any questions, please just ask them. We'll go through this and hopefully other businesses can gain some insight from what Amanda's gone through, and she's getting ready to reopen. So she's taken a lot of steps to get her business there, and hopefully other businesses can get some ideas. So with that, welcome, Amanda.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
Doing great.
Good.
Excited for opening tomorrow. So
Absolutely. So you are the owner and operator of Sk8ter's Paradise here in Somerset, Kentucky. And
yes.
and I guess I should let people know a little caveat. Amanda and I live next door to each other, so we talk on a regular basis. So I guess I should make that clear. But tell us a little bit about Sk8ter's and your background and how you got here.
Okay, well, Sk8ter's is a roller skating rink, but we also categorize ourselves as a family fun center. We offer more than just roller skating. I'm a third generation owner and operator. And so let's say I've been roller skating since I came out of the womb. We cater to birthday parties, church groups, schools, really, in all honesty, it's kind of been brought more to my attention during this situation. We cater to a lot of kids that, doesn't really have a strong home life or background. That's kind of what we do, and been doing it all my life. Been owner and operator of Sk8ter's for 7 years now, and I love every minute of it.
That's cool. So your parents and then your grandparents also were owner operators of skating rinks.
Yes.
So entrepreneurship is in your blood.
Yes.
And that's really cool because not everybody gets to grow up in that environment where they get to learn from people who have already learned from. And
right.
So that's really cool. So you guys have been at this for 7 years now. Mm-hmm. And through that 7 years, you've seen a lot of ups and downs, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Can you tell us how this downturn, COVID, has been different or affected your business?
Yeah, well, it was a huge hit because like many other small businesses probably have never experienced anything like this. I remember the Saturday my manager called and was like, the government's shutting us down. I'm like, no, that can't happen. Like, that's not possible. So it was a big blow. It was a huge hit. It was, I don't even know where to start with it, honestly. I'm very thankful that I do still have my mom. And we are a part of an association called the Roller Skating Association. And a lot of the rink operators have been in this. They've been through several different, times. So they compiled together weekly meetings on Wednesday, town hall meetings, and we discussed and talked about how to get through it. So that was a huge help to be a part of a group, an association that, had experience in other things, economy crashes and different things like that. So, but still the older guys were still like, wow, this is something that we've never experienced before. They automatically started thinking outside the box, and we all just collaborated together, and we're getting through it. So very thankful for that.
that can-do attitude and that we will figure a way through this, I think, is so vital to small business survival right now.
Yes.
It would be really easy to say, you know what, this is just more than I want, and I'm out.
Yes.
but having that positive attitude that, you know, there is light at the end of the tunnel, we will find a way through this, is
Right.
so important. And I mean, obviously, you know how important small businesses are to me, and I know how important small businesses are to you, but these businesses really are the backbone of our economy. And Kentucky, we have to keep our small businesses going.
Yes.
And I know that when this first started and you had to close your doors to Sk8ter's, you still did some pizza, you still did a
Yes.
little bit of food stuff, and kind of walk me through your thought process and what you had hoped was going to happen, but what really happened.
Okay. Well, at that time, I had no idea that, PPP was going to exist and SBA loans were going to exist. So I immediately just started brainstorming. I laid off all of my help. So I came into the rink one day and I'm like, okay, what am I going to do? How am I going to make this work? So my first thing was, I don't want my food to go bad. That's a lot of wasted inventory. And I know that people have told us over the years that we have great pizza. So I'm like, okay, let's start here. So I did. I started making a few pizzas up, and I actually took them to the local businesses, Trader. Oh, well, it's not Trader Jags and Honey, which is in front of us now. It's
Yep.
Misty, and them. I took some pizza there. They posted it on their page. So I went to the local businesses that I knew and were friends with, and they started posting on their pages, and then people started calling and texting me. And it was really cool because one day I had done a really big order for a friend of mine, and I had made that money. Well, I took that money and went and put it right back in, and we went and bought cookies to make for Easter at the sweet shop downstairs or downtown. So I was like, well, we've got to make sure that all of our small local businesses are staying afloat. Because like you said, we are backbone. Our money stays in our town, in our area, and we support each other. So it actually took off. It was really big. I ran out of food within like 2 weeks, which was very unexpected. So then I went to Easter baskets because Easter was just a couple weeks away. I sold, I think it ended up being like 25 Easter baskets. So I just started thinking outside the box to try to deplete some of my inventory and get as much cash flow in as I could.
And that's something that all entrepreneurs have in common, is the ability to think outside the box and to find a solution even when the problem looks so huge that you can't get through it.
Right.
It's hard to understand that when you stop having people come through the door, that doesn't mean you stop having bills.
Right.
It cuts down on your electricity usage, but you still have a building that you have to pay for. You still have other things that just because you aren't open for business doesn't mean you're not going to pay.
Right.
So I think that reminding people how important it is for us as we start to reopen to really focus on spending our money at our local businesses. And so that hopefully you can recoup some of the revenue that you've been out over the past 3.5 months. And I can't say it enough. Shop local. Shop our local small businesses. Spend your money at our local places instead of on Amazon.
Right.
Right. So you are reopening on Friday,
Yes.
tomorrow.
Yes.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Tell me about the process of how you've gotten to where you're at.
A lot of blood, sweat, and tears. So we went to the government, and we wasn't getting much response from them. Again, our association really stepped out of the box and helped all of the Kentucky rinks. And So we finally got a few guidelines back from them, and then I really very, very thankful for our local mayor and his staff, because without them, I probably would not be opening tomorrow. So they really rallied, and they really rallied for small businesses here in Somerset. And we emailed some things back and forth, and they sent me a list. So we are, we did find some masks for our employees. Now, remind you, these are teenagers. So it's going to be very complicated to get them to understand the logistics of all of it. But we're training them today, this afternoon, on all of the new procedures. We've actually purchased ozone machines to put throughout the rink, and that helps pull out a lot of the toxins that are in the air, just kind of cleans the air up. We've bought paint sprayers to help spray our machines down as people are touching them. So we'll have a cleaner that is just for that position. And he or she will just go through, and it's got a certain chemical that our arcade people have gave to us, and we put it in that paint sprayer so they can just spray it down, wipe it off. It's very cool. Again, the association was a big hit with that, because who would have ever thought paint sprayers could be, sanitizers machines. We do have sanitizer stations throughout the facility. We've used some Centos in the bathroom cleanings. They'll come once a week and do bathrooms. We're opening slow, so we're just going to do a Friday and Saturday schedule for now, just to kind of see and feel what's going to happen. And our biggest project was the front door. We had to reconstruct our front lobby area so that there wasn't mass gatherings in one location. So we moved the lobby area back probably about 20 or 30 feet and locked it in to where that we can buzz in and out who comes into the building. So we will be taking temperatures as we feel needed. We will be offering masks, and then everybody will be sanitizing as they come in the building. I've always liked the open concept, but with the way that the rules and guidelines were, this was the more logistic way of protecting our employees and our customers. So I'm anxious to see how that's going to all work. But right now it looks great. It feels great. It's very warm and inviting. We had a local artist come in and do some artwork on it, and I'm excited to see what happens.
I've seen the painting, and it's awesome. So everybody needs to go check that out. It looks great.
Thank you.
It looks great. So, over the years, we've talked about safety in the rink, and I know that you talked about doing something similar to this, where you have more control on the doors just for the safety aspect. So do you think that this will be something that will help business in the long run, not just in the COVID?
Yeah, I absolutely do. We can monitor more of who comes in and out. So, logistically, if you're an adult coming in without children, it kind of, gives us the infrared of being like, hey, okay, who are you and why are you here? And then two, if there's a person coughing, sneezing, just you can tell that they don't look healthy at that point. I just really feel like that in the process that we've done this, that it'll help us be able to make sure that everybody that's inside our facility is there to have a good time and is healthy, safe, and protected. And then two, like I said earlier, we have a lot of kids that get dropped off, and this helps us to make sure that they are in the building and they're not leaving without an adult coming and getting them.
Absolutely. And that's just a good safety measure on your part. So
right.
Obviously I wish COVID would have never happened, but I'm thankful that some good does come out of it.
Yes.
So what was your capacity before COVID and what is your capacity after COVID?
Well, right now we are allowed to operate on a 33%. Now, looking at our building, a lot of people are going to say, oh, well, that's no big deal. But we have to consider, a lot of our space is taken up with video games, tables, and stuff like that. So we're looking at a capacity of like 175. It's comfortable to be able to keep everybody at a 6 feet distance as much as possible and to make sure that we have enough seating for everybody. Typically on a Friday night, you're looking at skating about 250. Saturday, we pass through maybe 400 on a good Saturday. So it is going to be a hit for us. And that's a concern, but we're hoping that everybody will come out and support and we'll get as many people as we can in there.
Absolutely, absolutely. And has the governor's office given you any kind of time frame on when you can move up to say 50% capacity, or is he being pretty unclear on that?
What I have heard, I haven't heard from the horse's mouth, but what I have heard is July they're going in that direction, based off of how many cases are coming through. Okay. But there hasn't been a for sure yet. So.
Okay. And you touched on it earlier. Mayor Keck has really gone to bat for all of the small businesses in Somerset and Pulaski County. And we're super thankful for him stepping up when we're not getting the information that we need from the other sources. So that has been a huge help for a lot of businesses.
Yes. Yeah.
So where do you think we'll be 6 months from now?
I hope back to I hope back to serving schools, having daycares, field trips, packed out with birthday parties. I hope we're back to full capacity. That is kind of that's my long-term goal, I guess. Used to a 10-year was a long-term goal, but yeah, I mean, we're living day to day right now and just seeing what happens. But I'm already planning a schedule for August for a calendar for when school starts back, a big back to school bash like we normally do. We've actually already got the beach balls and the balloon drop. So I'm planning ahead. I'm trying to be as proactive as possible. I mean, I have to be careful because who knows what's going to happen, but I've got everything ready. So as soon as we're given the go, it's going to marketing, social media, wherever it needs to go. So
that's great. You touched on it a little while ago about the government programs, the PPP loans, the EIDL loans that the federal government has put out to help small businesses. I want to get your take on, were those programs effective? Did they help? Could they have done more?
Well, for me, they were effective. But I had pre-planned. I mean, I was already, summer is usually a slower time for us. So at the time in March, the time and all of this happened, I was already pre-planning for summer. So I think I was a little kind of ahead of the game than some were. So the loans that were provided did help me. My only thing was they didn't really help my employees. I would probably say the biggest restriction is they needed to lift up some of the restrictions. I was able to bring a few of my employees back just to do some on-end painting and sanitizing once that was brought out. But again, there was no childcare for some of them. So it made it very complicated to kind of stick into some of the guidelines because of that. We've used it the best that we could to the way that they have asked. That would probably be my biggest thing, was the restrictions. But I know some it helped and some it didn't help. I guess it just kind of depends on the situation and the type of business you're in.
It was, I mean, obviously especially the federal government typically does not move at the pace that they were forced to move at during, when all of this hit. So especially when PPP came out, the restrictions that came out originally are nowhere near the restrictions that we have today. Everything's been a moving target. And it's easy to criticize that and say, well, you should have had it all together. But frankly, we've never done this before. And for the federal government to move at the speed at which they moved at is really pretty impressive.
Right.
And same thing with the SBA EIDL loans. They were able to get those out really quickly as well. And were they perfect? No. But we also had a week to figure all this stuff out and get the money out. And they really did get it out quickly.
Yeah.
So, it's easy to armchair quarterback or Monday morning quarterback how things went, but we've all done the best that we can do with what we have. And so I think that remaining positive and not beating ourselves or each other up is a good thing. Here's a hard question. So if you knew that this was going to happen 12 months ago, is there anything that you would have done differently to prepare your business for, because I think everything's a learning experience. And if we can go back and say, a lot of businesses that I've talked to, and you're not in this boat, but a lot of businesses that I've talked to did not have their finances in order. So they really didn't know what inventory they had. They didn't know what money was going out, what money was coming in, and everything was in a shoebox. So is there anything that you would have done differently to better prepare for this?
Well, I can say I'm very thankful that my mom is my CPA. But yeah, I would have, learning from this, I have learned that not everything can happen inside of a building. So just in thinking outside the box, like the curbside and the gift baskets, something else that had came across my radar, I never got it out there quick enough, but mobile birthday parties. I know a lot of people done, like the drive-by parades and stuff like that. So yeah, if I would have known that this was coming up, then I definitely would have thought outside of my building, how my business can affect outside its actual location. And I would have been prepared to have rolled all of that out quicker than what I was given time for.
Yeah.
Actually, it's been a crazy thing. Outdoor roller skating was a thing of the past. And since COVID has hit, our manufacturers can't get enough outdoor roller skates. So a lot of the outdoor roller skating has become huge because of this. So there again, if we would have rink operators, if we would have known that was going to be a big hit, that people were going to start getting outside and doing more things as a family, then we would have been prepared in that ball game and build as, having plenty of stock to be able to sell. So yeah, there's definitely, to me, I feel like in any aspect, a business can always think outside the box of how they can move forward outside of their location. Some it may be harder for, but that's something that's always going to be on the back of my mind now, is how can I operate outside my building?
And yep, and the pivoting is such a key component of running a small business, because things change that you have zero control over. And crystal balls would be great to have, but I've not found any. So just being able to move and pivot on a dime to kind of switch things up to remain in business and remain operational is super valuable. And if your business hasn't changed because of COVID, I'm really, really surprised. It's speaking to all small businesses. everybody's changed what they're doing just a little bit. Some have changed what they're doing a whole lot.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that comes pretty close to wrapping up my list of questions, other than what is your greatest joy of owning and running a small business?
Well, I'll say there's good days and there's bad days in any owning business. But my greatest joy is probably the fact that what I do, I get to be a part of other people's families and bringing joy to their family. So that would probably be my biggest joy that I get from doing what I do. Of course, a small business owner, you have a lot more freedom than working under somebody else. So those two, I get to be at my kids', recitals and stuff that she's slowly getting involved in. So she's only 3 too. So, but those are, being with my family and having the freedom to kind of do and go as I want to is probably the other thing that really makes small business owning worth it.
Absolutely. And, obviously everything has its benefits and its drawbacks. And, with that added flexibility comes the ultimate responsibility
Right.
of still running the business and keeping it going. But when you put the right people in the right places, that makes a big difference.
Yes. And I'm very thankful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very thankful. I've had a manager that's been with me for 8 years this July. And she's great. She's become part of the family. But she's very trustworthy, dependable, and she has the best interest in the business in mind too. And that makes a world of difference.
All the difference in the world, having somebody that you can trust.
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, does Lisa or Kyle have any questions?
I'm not 100% sure if she's mentioned it or not, but where can we keep up with you and your business? What's your Facebook, your Twitter, Instagram, whatever you use? Where can we keep up with you at?
Facebook is our biggest. We have a lot of kid followers on Snapchat. But, Facebook is probably where the most information goes out. If you've never been inside of our business, we do have a virtual tour on our website. Now, granted, things have changed quite a bit from those last, the last time we filmed that. So, but for the most updated information, I would say Facebook for sure. And we are SK and the number 8, not the letter A.
Lisa, were you saying something?
No, I was just going to, I don't have any questions. I just wanted to say that I enjoyed the coffee talk and enjoyed hearing her story and her successes. And I just wish her the best of luck in opening tomorrow and moving forward.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. And everybody come out, check out what Sk8ter's has done. If you've never been in there, Amanda, I know you're booking birthday parties right now. So tell us a little bit about that.
So we start booking birthday parties in July. Things will look a little different. And again, there our capacity used to, we could do up to 8 birthday parties at a time. Now we're down to 5. You could still come in, have a great time. It's a family, oriented birthday party, not just about the kids. And we're booking those starting in July, and we're already starting to book quite a few of those for July and August. So, beat the heat, bring the kids out, come let us entertain you and your kids, and you can sit back and relax if you don't know how to skate.
Yeah, and that's the great thing about your facility is there's stuff for everybody. I mean, my kids have been coming there since they were 3 or 4 years old, and whether my daughter could walk yet or not didn't matter, because you had some other places, some other games that she was interested in. Yeah. And that makes a huge difference, just having something for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's our goal is, we want to take the adults back to their childhood, but then be able to enjoy that time with their kids as well. So we have, Pac-Man. If you don't skate, we've got Pac-Man. We got laser tag. Our toddler area is down right now. The bounce houses are not allowed to open. Hopefully that'll be something else that'll be open in July. But we still have toddler games. We have a carousel that I struggle keeping my daughter off of. So we've got great food, lots of fun, great music. You're not just going to hear your top playlist that you hear today. You're going to hear everything from the 80s on up. So
absolutely. Amanda, I really, really appreciate you taking the time out of your day today. I know you're super busy trying to get open, so I really appreciate it. And I hope you guys are at capacity tomorrow and Saturday. Fingers crossed. And everybody go out, check out Sk8ter's. It's a great time. It'll wear your kids out. They'll sleep good. It'll be great.
Yes. Yes.
So, well, thank you, and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you. Thank you so much.